What if everything you've ever wanted was already within reach, and the only thing blocking you was a program you didn't know was running? Not fate, not luck, not circumstance. A program, written in your early years, reinforced by repetition and operating right now beneath your awareness. The subconscious mind doesn't dream, it executes. And until you understand what it's executing, you'll keep wondering why your life feels like someone else wrote the script. Neuroscientists estimate that 95% of your daily cognition happens below conscious awareness. 95%, which means the decisions you believe you're making freely, your reactions, your habits, the way you feel walking into a room, are largely governed by a system you cannot directly observe. This is the subconscious mind, not a mystical force, a biological architecture. It is the sum of every experience, emotion, and repeated pattern your brain has ever encoded. It doesn't think in words, it thinks in feelings, in reflexes, in automated responses trained over years of living. Think of it this way: the conscious mind is the rider, the subconscious is the horse, and the horse has been running this trail long before the rider knew where they were going. For most of human history, scientists believed the brain was fixed, that after childhood, what you were was what you'd be. Then came neuroplasticity, the discovery that the brain is not a static organ, but a living, adaptive system, capable of rewiring itself based on new experience and repeated thought. Every time a neuron fires in a pattern, it strengthens that pathway. Psychologist Donald Hebb summarized it simply: neurons that fire together, wire together. This is how beliefs form, not through grand revelations, but through repetition, through the slow accumulation of thoughts rehearsed so many times that the brain begins to treat them as fact. You don't believe what is true, you believe what is familiar. Here is where manifestation gets its science. Deep inside your brainstem sits a structure called the Reticular Activating System, the RAS. It acts as a filter for the 11 million bits of sensory information flooding your brain every single second. Consciously, you can process roughly 40 bits. The RAS decides which 40, and it decides based on one thing: what you've trained it to look for. This is why the moment you decide to buy a red car, you begin seeing red cars everywhere. They were always there, you simply didn't have a filter tuned to find them. When your subconscious holds a belief, a dominant thought, a deeply felt expectation, your RAS begins filtering reality to confirm it. This isn't magic, this is neurology. Stop. Think about this for a moment. There are people, intelligent, hard-working, capable people, who sabotage every opportunity that comes close to what they say they want. A relationship begins to feel real, and they pull away. Success starts to arrive, and they destroy it. Not because they are weak, because somewhere in their subconscious, success or love or safety was encoded as dangerous, as unfamiliar. And the subconscious mind will always choose the known over the good. This is called emotional conditioning, and it operates like a cage you cannot see but feel every single time you reach the bars. Manifestation, stripped of its mysticism, is a chain reaction. It begins with belief, what your subconscious holds as true about you and the world. Belief shapes perception, what your RAS filters in or out of your awareness. Perception drives behavior, the micro-decisions, the risks taken, the conversations started or avoided. And behavior produces results. This is the chain. And most people try to change their results without ever touching their beliefs. They change their habits, but not their identity. They force new behavior onto an unchanged subconscious and wonder why it doesn't last. Lasting change begins one layer deeper. It begins with reprogramming what the mind accepts as true. So how do you rewrite a program you can't directly access? You use the tools the subconscious understands: repetition, emotion, and imagery. Repetition because the brain wires what fires consistently. Emotion because emotionally charged experiences encode faster and deeper. Imagery because the subconscious does not distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. Brain scans show near identical neural patterns in both. This is why athletes visualize before they compete, why ancient cultures used ritual and symbol not as superstition, but as subconscious language. You don't convince the subconscious with logic. You immerse it in feeling repeatedly until it accepts a new truth as its own. The subconscious does not know the difference between what happened and what you repeatedly think about. It only knows what is rehearsed, which means the mind you have today is not the one you were born with. It is the one that was built by experience, by repetition, by every thought you allowed to stay. And here is what that means for you. The mind can be rebuilt, not through wishful thinking, not overnight, but through deliberate, consistent, emotionally engaged repetition of a new truth. Manifestation is not about asking the universe for what you want. It is about becoming, at a neurological level, the kind of person for whom what you want is a natural result. The question was never whether you could change your reality. The question is whether you're willing to change your mind first.